SNAP benefits ran out over the weekend, leaving some wondering how they're going to afford to put food on the table for their families. Is there a chance that benefits could hit their account this week? Scripps News Group's Joe St. George will join us with the very latest.
And that's not all, folks. Here's a look at what...
Food insecurities. The situation for some families in Jim Wells County is dire. I'm Melissa Trevino in Alice with the group trying to meet the need of as many neighbors as they can.
How's the housing market looking in one of Corpus Christi's fastest growing areas? I'm Tyrese Boone talking with realtors to see if the boom is still booming or are things slowing down.
Good morning, folks. Happy Monday and welcome to Chris 6 Sunrise. Thank you so much for waking up with the Hoffmans. I'm Michelle Hoffman.
I'm Brian Hoffman. We are dancing on into this next week because it's going to be a good one. The weekend was so busy, from storms to Dias de los Muertos to preparing for tomorrow's election. But let's make sure you are prepared to head out the door with meteorologist Stephen Jones.
I like the snapping.
How
good
you doing,
morning.
buddy?
Well, good morning, you guys. Not too bad. We got an extra hour of sleep. I mean, it was Halloween weekend. Did you guys enjoy Halloween weekend? Have a pretty good festive time, I'd say.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it wasn't too bad. But those storms, I mean, they were incredible too. Put on a great show, just too destructive, unfortunately. It's too much hail for the area. Saw some cars getting the windshields hit out there too. So definitely not what we want to be seeing in terms of the weather. But luckily this morning, looking nice and clear in terms of the weather. So nothing to slow you down out there as you're getting ready to hit the road. Taking a more in-depth look here at some of our traffic to and from Portland on the New Harbor Bridge. Going to be good and green to head out the door if you're heading that way this morning. Over towards Corpus Christi Ocean Drive, no major slowdowns to report. SPID looking pretty good out there, as well as Saratoga. Crosstown Expressway both coming in good and green all the way as you're heading that way out the door. Getting closer to that 7 a.m. hour now. We're still around 6 a.m. of course, but as we're going through the 6 a.m. hour, I should say. And then over towards Flower Bluff Drive looking good and green. Waldron Road, just a minor slowdown to be mindful of. Of course, the normal one we see over by the Naval Air Station as well. Some of those drive times sitting around 21 minutes from downtown to the island. Portland to downtown, 8 minutes. Cal Allen to downtown, that 14-minute mark, so not too bad. Good and green for wherever you're going to and wherever you're coming from to kick off your Monday morning.
Well, hey, Stephen, thank you so much. Appreciate you, sir. So we're going to check back in with you in a bit, but first, funding for federal SNAP benefits officially ran dry over the weekend, leaving 42 million low-income Americans wondering how they're going to afford their next meal.
Now to talk more about this, we bring in our Deputy Political Director, Joe St. George. Good morning, Joe. So last week, a federal judge ordered the Trump administration to fund full SNAP payments by the end of today or partial payment by Wednesday. So the question is the Trump administration going to appeal?
It doesn't look like it, right? And to get people caught up to speed as to where things stand, for one, the SNAP program has elapsed. There are tens of thousands of Americans across the country who were expecting a check over the weekend, did not get it. Now, north of 40 million people are on SNAP, but important to note that the payments tend to be staggered. So some get the payments maybe on a Saturday, others may get them on a Tuesday or a Thursday. So difficult at this hour to tell you how many of those 40 million are truly missing government assistance, but we know the assistance has elapsed. And we also know that last week a federal district judge has ordered the Trump administration to refund the program. You asked the key question that a lot of people had: was the Trump administration going to appeal the order? We've seen appeals all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court in some cases. Well, over the weekend, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent was asked this. He implied that no, that they would not be appealing this order, but that they needed more guidance from the courts as to how to make this happen, suggesting that it wasn't as simple as turning an on or off switch to get SNAP funded again. We'll learn more in the coming hours. There's a noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central Time deadline for the Trump administration to update the courts on where this stands. The order calls for full payment by today or a partial payment by Wednesday. So perhaps some good news on the horizon for families who rely on SNAP. The Treasury Secretary suggested that by Wednesday, the program could be entirely funded again. This is obviously one of the biggest flashpoints of this shutdown so far. There's nothing to suggest a deal is imminent in the coming hours. This shutdown will become the longest shutdown in American history. Again, there's nothing to suggest that we're going to get a deal today. Polling over the weekend is an important part of the story as well. And the polling from over the weekend, an NBC News poll puts blame squarely on President Trump and congressional Republicans more so than Democrats. 52% of the country in this poll blamed Republicans. 42% blamed Democrats. A separate ABC News Washington Post Ipsos poll over the weekend put President Trump's approval ratings at the lowest levels since the days after January 6th. So these polling suggests that Democrats may be winning this shutdown. And that's an important part here because a lot of people thought maybe this is the week Democrats would cave, give in. With polling like this, nothing to suggest that that may happen. Meanwhile, President Trump says he's not going to be extorted by Democrats to pass these health care policy changes. In fact, this morning, he's calling on the Senate to abolish the filibuster in order to reopen the government. That's the 60-vote threshold for most bills in the Senate. 60 votes are needed to reopen the government. President Trump wants that rule abolished. So far, it looks like Senate Republicans are going to keep the filibuster in place. Guys, we're asking the same question this Monday that we've asked the last several Mondays. When will this shutdown end? And I don't have an answer for you.
Well, regardless, we appreciate you for following this, Joe.
We know you'll have an answer for us soon, though, sir. Looking forward to talking again very soon.
Well, 6:06 a.m. Good Monday morning there. Coastal Bend taking a live look over at Snoopy's Pier. Thanks to Matthew CCAC sitting at 59 degrees. Those winds out of the east 5 miles an hour. A couple of cars on the causeway and then starting to get some color in the sky as well now that we're enjoying that time change that happened over the weekend. And also looking back at yesterday, you could see nice and below average, 76 degrees for that daytime high. That normal average about 60 and then 80. So we were at 76 and 54 below average for both the daytime high and the morning low, well shy of either record. And then rainfall wise coming up on that 12-inch mark in terms of a rainfall deficit so far for 2025. So hopefully we start to see some more weather makers making their way into the area. Over the past 10 hours, a decent cool down from the lower 60s at 8 to 9 p.m. last night, then through those 50s from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. And then as we cooled off to about 50 degrees, that's going to be the cool spot, I should say, this morning at about that 4 a.m. time frame. But we'll see if we could try to shave off another degree or two. I think with the sun coming up now, probably not going to see any more cooling across the area. Looking in your neighborhood, still sitting at 46 degrees over there in San Diego. Going to be that cool spot, not too bad this morning. 62 in Port Aransas, 55 in Ingleside, 50 for both George West as well as Beeville this morning. So a good 16 degrees of spread from east to west across the coastal bend. And looking at those feels like temperatures throughout the afternoon, peak heating going to take us to about 81 degrees, but that feels like temperature only going to be in the upper 70s, but feeling probably close to that 80-degree mark as well. So not too bad as we go into the afternoon, just about that average for what we're supposed to be seeing in early November here into Corpus Christi. Those forecast highs in your neighborhood, those mid 70s along the coast from the Naval Air Station up through Rockport, about 76 degrees, 81 here in Corpus Christi, 80 for Freer, Alice, as well as Orange Grove as you work your way inland. So a nice and average day, I'll say, but we're slowly going to warm up as we go through the work week, or maybe not even that slow as we go towards Friday, potentially expecting those 90s to work their way back into the area. Then we see a decent cool down into next Monday, but still going to be near or above average throughout the entire next 10 days. For now, it's going to be a nice quiet radar across the coastal bend, and as we go through our Monday, going to remain a nice quiet radar, I should say, across the coastal bend. Maybe a very stray shower trying to push into the region, but overall, I think we're definitely going to be staying dry today. I don't have any rain chances on my board at least. And looking at that upper level pattern, you can see with the high pressure over the Lone Star State and then the zonal flow across the rest of the United States, going to remain a pretty quiet forecast for the time being as we're going through really just no weather makers working into the area. We're going to see humidity slowly on the rise as we go through the work week ahead, but as we go into the weekend without those weather makers, no rain chances on the board for right now, just those temperatures slowly rising through the 80s, potentially hitting the 90s there by Friday into Saturday, with overnight lows going from those upper 50s into the mid 60s by the weekend.
I lost everything.
Those three words are every homeowner's worst nightmare. For one Southside fire victim, it became a reality. I'm Tony Jaramillo, getting a look at the aftermath of the fire.
Hey, welcome back, folks. Happy Monday. 6:42 is your time right now. You're getting a live look from our SPID Skycam, and it looks like we got some busy bees out on the roadways. 52 degrees outside right now as well. Definitely feeling like November. Of course, we will check in with meteorologist Stephen Jones in just a bit, but first, we have some neighborhood news for you.
That's right. We are talking about early voting for the November 4th election. It wrapped up on Friday, and here in Nueces County, 11,031 people turned out for in-person early voting, while 243 mail-in ballots have been received so far. So overall, early voters make up just a little more than 5% of the total voter count. And Election Day, folks, is tomorrow. 17 proposed amendments to the Texas Constitution are on the ballot. There's also some local races to talk about. So here is a look at Nueces County's. Port Aransas residents will vote on a civic and community center that will be funded by an increase in the hotel occupancy tax. The Aransas Pass ISD residents, you guys are also going to vote on a proposed tax increase. A mayoral and city council race, is on the ballot for Robstown residents. Also on the Nueces County ballot, 3 separate proposals that would annex new areas to emergency service districts 1, 3, and 4. And if you want to learn what else is on the ballot, just scan that QR code you see on your screen and find the election guide on our website. That's KrisTV.com.
TxDOT is set to begin work on a $14 million expansion project in Portland. The project would take a stretch of Moore Avenue and change it from 2 lanes to 5. The project includes designated turning lanes and sidewalks. Residents in the area hope the expansion will alleviate traffic from the W.C. Andrews Elementary. The completion date is set for December of 2027.
I'm Tony Jaramillo, your neighborhood news reporter on the South Side. We were here Wednesday night when a fire broke out in this townhome. Now I speak with the owners who tell me what happened and show me what they've lost.
I'm just blessed to be here. I lost everything, but I'm just grateful to be alive.
The fire damaged at least 3 units in the townhome on Rodfield and Fremont Drive.
Went to take a shower, came and sat on the sofa, and then I just saw the 2 windows light up, bright orange, so I went to go look, and all I could feel was heat.
CCFD doesn't know what started it, but the damage it did to Deborah Garcia and her fiance's home left them with very little.
The clothes I'm wearing is from different people. And I'm appreciative.
Deborah walked me through the soot-filled townhome.
I have my granddaughter's markers. They look so weird. I'm like, what is that? They're all different colored markers. But I got all this clothes out of the drawers. They're just really smoke burned and wet, but I'm gonna try to salvage them.
As most of it is reduced to rubble, the remains now are just a memory.
This was the place where my grandkids would sleep when they came over.
Deborah and her fiance are asking for help, as she tells me, due to finances, they recently canceled their home insurance.
He's had his home for 10 years and it was paid off and it's gone now.
Deborah's daughter posted this GoFundMe so the couple can get back on their feet.
We just want our own home again. It's hard to live with somebody. I just want our own place.
If you want to help this family, we've linked their GoFundMe on our website on the South Side. I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Tony Jaramillo, KRIS 6 News.
Well, good Monday morning there, Coastal Bend, 6:16 a.m. Taking a live look over at Snoopy's Pier thanks to Matthew CCAC. Sitting at 59 degrees, those winds out of the east 5 miles an hour. A couple of cars there picking up on the causeway, and just a beautiful sunrise starting there across the area now that we are enjoying that time change we got over the weekend as well. Looking at those temperatures in your neighborhood, still sitting at 46 over in San Diego, 62 in Port Aransas, 50 up in George West as well as Beeville. Here in town coming in at 51 degrees, 55 there in Ingleside, so 16 degrees of spread from east to west across the Coastal Bend. Not too bad, and those winds fairly light this morning, about 3 to 5 miles an hour, even 8 miles an hour up there in Freer, with most of us enjoying fairly variable winds as well as we go through the afternoon, likely to see them get more of a southeasterly component across the board. And looking at those dew points, nice and dry as well, still in the wake of last week's cold front, only in the 40s and 50s this morning as we're looking out there, getting close to the 60-degree point over there in Port Aransas, but still not too bad at all, fairly dry air air in place. And taking a look at our dog walking forecast today, we've got Buddy on the board. He's still enjoying the Halloween spirit just a little bit. Here's a look at his costume, dressed up as a good pirate, of course, as well. Hopefully he didn't steal too much candy, though. Taking a look at his temperatures for our dog walking forecast today, 69 degrees by 9 a.m., 73 by 10 a.m., by noon about 78 degrees with those winds. Like I said, turning a little bit more southeasterly as we go into the afternoon, also picking up just a little bit, getting closer to that 10 to 15 mile an hour mark. For the current Doppler radar, nice and clear across the coastal bend. That's going to continue as we go through our Monday, kicking off the first week of November already. Maybe just a stray shower, very stray shower at that, trying to push in, but I think very unlikely that we do see any rain actually pushing into the area, so likely going to remain dry into today and throughout really the next 6 to 10 days. You could see across much of the central United States, drier conditions going to persist, including the Lone Star State and us in the coastal bend, so don't anticipate too much rain for the time being, unfortunately. In terms of those wind gusts, you could expect them to get not too bad into the afternoon, 18 to 16 miles an hour there from 3 to 7 p.m., so not too bad at all out of the southeast, exactly what we're used to, I'd say, for some of those afternoon winds across the Corpus Christi area. For the 7-day forecast, though, temperatures slowly going to be rising as we go through the week ahead into those upper 80s by Thursday. By Friday, looks like the 90s could make their return just for a day, though. Then as we go into the weekend, I should say, back into the 80s with overnight lows going from the upper 50s starting off this week into those mid 60s by the time we're going into the weekend.
All right, folks, it is Monday, start of a brand new work week, and if you need to fill up that tank for the week ahead, no worries. I got the cheapest prices all around town and a look at the national average. Let's start out with the latter, though. According to Gas Buddy, national average is now again below $3. Love to see that. That is a drop by 9 cents since last week. As for the Texas average, well, we're sitting at $2.48. That's down by a whopping 13 cents since last week. Good news there. Here in Corpus Christi, cheapest price I was able to find is $2.43 at the 7-Eleven on Saratoga on the city's south side. As for our Portland friends, well, your cheapest price is $2.49, so just a little bit more. That's over at the Murphy USA next to the Walmart. And for our island friends, you're always going to be paying a little bit more, right? Cheapest I was able to find, $2.61 at most of the stations on the island, including the ones in Port A. The outlier, though, is at one station right when you get onto the island from Flower Bluff, so watch out for that one. So, as always, if you can find cheaper prices than these guys, might be worthwhile stopping and filling up while you can. I actually already have all of these prices posted on our website. That's KrisTV.com.
Well, 6:23 a.m. Good Monday morning there, Coastal Bend, taking a live look at our USS Lexington cam, brought to us by First Community Bank, sitting at 51 degrees, seeing the new Harbor Bridge in view. A few cars on the roadway there, but not too bad, but starting to see a few more, especially as we head closer to that 7 a.m. hour. And of course, you gotta love gas starting to get a little bit cheaper, at least the good news this week. Taking a more in-depth look now at the Harbor Bridge, good and green as you're heading to and from Portland this morning. Into Corpus Christi, Ocean Drive, no major slowdowns to report, just a minor one there in the middle. As we look at SPID, looking good and green, as well as most of Saratoga, just a minor slowdown there as you get to the Saratoga Crosstown Expressway interchange. But as we work over closer to the island, Flower Bluff Drive looking good and green out the door this morning. Waldron Road gonna have a minor slowdown there as well to just be mindful of, as well as the normal one we see there as you get closer to the gates there at the Naval Air Station. Some of those drive times sitting at 21 minutes from downtown to the island, 8 minutes from Portland to downtown. Cal Allen to downtown sitting at that 14-minute mark. So wherever you're coming from and wherever you're going to, good and green to head out the door and kick off your Monday morning.
Now, weather on the 6s.
Well, it is 6:26 a.m. Good Monday morning there, Coastal Bend. Taking a live look out at Snoopy Skycam, brought to us by Matthews CCAC. Sitting at 51 degrees here in downtown Corpus Christi, closer to those mid-50s there over at Snoopy's, and a few cars starting to pick up there on the causeway as we're heading towards the 6:30 a.m. hour. Now the water's looking nice and calm as well out the door, and we're enjoying that nice calm weather as well around the region after we've gone through this weekend. Not too bad either yesterday, at least at that 76-degree mark. We were below average both on the daytime high and the morning low. Right now we're sitting around that 80 and 60 mark. We were at 76 and 54 yesterday. We're going to be closer to that average as we go into today and tomorrow, but either way, well short of those records. And then rainfall wise, we've got a lot of work to do to make rainfall, or make work on that deficit, I should say, coming up on that 12-inch mark in terms of a deficit for 2025. And with the time change we saw this weekend, we're down to 5:44 p.m. for that sunset, so just going to keep seeing that getting earlier and earlier as we go towards the winter solstice. But of course, we also had some crazy weather this weekend. We definitely had those hailstorms working their way in over, especially towards Portland and Gregory. Here's a look over that quarter size, upwards of that ping pong ball size hail, and then another look over by San Diego. You can see more of that hail came down over there, maybe even just a little bit larger. The largest reports coming in around 2.75 inches. That would be baseball size hail coming down, so definitely could put some damage on the cars, and definitely did as well. So hopefully we avoid any more of those hailstorms working their way into the region, but we definitely could use some more rain working into the region. Those current temperatures nice and chilly out in San Diego, though, 46 degrees. In Port Aransas, that's going to be our warm spot at 62, 55 over there in Ingleside, 48 up in George West. Beeville rounding us out about 50 degrees, so a good 16 degrees of spread from east to west across the coastal bend this morning, and also enjoying some nice dry air as well, with dew points in the 40s and the 50s along the coast, coming up on that 60-degree mark over there in Port Aransas, but still not too bad compared to the 70s, or even coming up on that 80-degree mark. In terms of the dog walking forecast, of course, we just got through our Halloween weekend as well, so we've got Buddy here today, still in the Halloween spirit, showing off his costume from over the weekend and ready to go on his walk today. Those temperatures not looking too bad either, shaping up through 69 degrees by 9 a.m., 73 by 10 a.m., 78 as you're heading out the door by that lunchtime hour, with winds also starting to get a little bit more southeasterly heading into the afternoon, but only about 5 to 15 miles an hour, so not too bad. The Doppler radar nice and clear across the board right now, and that's going to continue throughout most of our Monday as well. You're going to see nice clear skies, just a stray chance of a shower working in, but overall I definitely don't think we're going to see anything. At least I don't have any of the precipitation chances really on the board, so expect those sunny conditions today and really throughout the most of the next 6 to 10 days. You can see those drier conditions across the central United States, and yes, into the Lone Star State and the coastal bend as well. In terms of the muggy meter, though, we are going to see the moisture slowly increase as we go through the week ahead, especially into the weekend, entering those 60s and even the 70s for those dew points. But without any weather makers on the way, those rain chances going to remain very unlikely and stray at best for now throughout the next 7 days. So unfortunately, no major rain chances on the way for right now. In terms of the 7-day forecast, hopefully we start to see some more as we work into the back half of November at least. But temperature-wise also, if you're a summer fan, you're going to like this one, going back to the 90s potentially by Friday, and then into the weekend still holding on to those upper 80s, with overnight lows going from the upper 50s, I should say, to start off this work week, and then into the mid-60s by the time we're going into the weekend.
I'm John Matteries. Check this out, a Butterball turkey for under $1 a pound. I'll show you some great Thanksgiving meal deals for inflation-weary shoppers.
The cost of healthcare premiums are climbing faster than they have in 15 years. I'm Maura Barrett. Coming up, what's behind the price hike and what you can do to manage the costs.
Welcome back, folks. A new poll shows President Trump's disapproval ratings are climbing. The survey was done by the Washington Post, ABC News, and Ipsos, showing the president's disapproval rating jumping to 59%. That level has not been seen since a week after the attack on the Capitol in January 2021. More than 1,700 adults were surveyed. The poll also found that 68% see the Democratic Party as out of touch with their lives. 61% said the same about the Republican Party. Also, 64% of those polled said Trump is going too far in, quote, trying to expand the power of the presidency.
Whether you purchase your insurance through the marketplace or get it through your employer, the price you pay each month for your premiums are going up. Policy analysts blame inflation, higher prescription costs, and more frequent use of care. Whether you're on public or private insurance, you should be padding your budget line for premium costs going into 2026.
Anytime things like health insurance increase, it makes you uncomfortable.
Affordable Care Act plans, which enrolled a record 24 million people this year, will see an average 26% increase next year, with some states seeing astronomical increases if the enhanced premium tax credits expire. Meanwhile, costs for employer-sponsored plans are expected to surge nearly 10%, the largest increase in 15 years.
Jaw hit the floor. Going up to paying almost $1,200 a month is it's going to be very, very difficult.
This comes as employees are battling inflation and stagnant wage growth.
The cost of their premiums is growing faster than their wages are growing, then it's just eating up a higher percentage of the amount of money that they take home.
Employers, they want to provide robust coverage, but they can't. Yeah. It's becoming a barrier for them financially.
Noel Cruz consults on benefit packages for employers who typically cover a large portion of premiums.
It's a balance between salary and it's a balance between what we can pay for on the benefit side.
Health policy experts recommend you arm yourself with information when comparing plans to best understand your coverage and provider options.
I think it's definitely worth looking at your estimated health expenses and your family's needs to determine which is going to be the best option for you financially.
Maura Barrett, Scripps News Group, Denver.
Well, taking a live look out at our Snoopy's Pier Sky Cam, thanks to Matthews CCAC. 59 degrees, those winds out of the east, 5 miles an hour, and just a beautiful sunrise at that. With the causeway, just seeing a couple cars along it and a couple boaters out there as well that we've seen on the Snoopy Sky Cam. So not too bad kicking off our Monday morning. Those current temperatures in your neighborhood rounding out in the 40s and 50s, 62 even there in Port Aransas is going to be that hot spot. 48 over in Kingsville, 47 in George West going to be the cool spot. 51 here in town, then 55 in Ingleside. So a good 15 degrees of spread across the coastal bend right now, and whenever we're looking at those dew points, enjoying some nice dry air still in the wake of that cold front from last week, with dew points in the 40s and 50s, 59 there in Port Aransas, 47 from Portland to Corpus Christi here as well, 48 there in Orange Grove, Beeville, rounding us out about 46 degrees for that dew point. So like I said, just some nice dry air as we go into our Monday, and looking like plenty of sunshine on the board as well as we're going through that day planner. 9 a.m. around 69 degrees. Those winds also pretty variable this morning, out of the northeast first, then out of the southeast as we're heading towards that noon hour, entering the upper 70s by 1 p.m., 80 degrees there by 3 p.m. without too much rain on the board. Of course, I'll go over all the rain chances and that 7-day forecast, though. That's coming up in just a bit.
Now, 20 minutes of non-stop news, sponsored by Ewald Kubota.
Welcome back, folks. Thank you so much for joining us for our 20 minutes of nonstop news with the Hoffmans, of course. I'm Brian Hoffman.
And I'm Michelle Hoffman. We have plenty of neighborhood news for you this Monday morning, but first, let's check in with meteorologist Stephen Jones to see how the traffic is looking before you hit the roads. Good morning.
Well, good morning, you guys. Not too bad out there this morning. Feeling nice as you step out the door. Not too much dew on the cars either, and traffic flowing nice and smooth, it looks like, as we're kicking off the first week of November. Taking a live look out at our SPID Skycam, you can see entering that 6:40 a.m. time frame now. Still about 51 degrees, but a few more cars starting to pick up on the roadway now as we're getting closer to that 7 a.m. hour, but still no major slowdowns, it looks like. Let's take a more in-depth look here at the Harbor Bridge to and from Portland this morning. Going to be good and green heading out the door that way as we work our way into Corpus Christi. Ocean Drive looking good and green, as well as SPID, Saratoga, and Crosstown Expressway all looking mostly good. Just a minor slowdown there as you get close to Saratoga and Crosstown Expressway itself. As we work our way a little bit closer to the island now over in Flower Bluff. Flower Bluff Drive, just a minor slowdown on it, as well as almost the same there on Waldron Road, so be mindful of those as you're heading out the door. And then the normal one we see there over at the Naval Air Station as you get a little bit closer to the gate, just a minor slowdown as well, so not too bad as we're heading out the door kicking off our Monday. And as we're looking at those drive times, 22 minutes going to be the time from downtown to the island, 8 minutes from Portland to downtown Cal Allen down to downtown, sitting around that 15-minute mark. So wherever you're coming from and wherever you're going to, going to be good and green to head out the door and start off your Monday morning.
I'm Tyrese Boone, your Northwest Neighborhood News reporter. Last year, I covered the housing boom here. New homes are going up, but many are sitting on the market longer. I spoke with local realtors to find out why. In March of last year, the Northwest housing market was booming, with new subdivisions popping up and homes selling fast. But now, according to local realtors like James McGill, that's started to change.
Things have definitely slowed down, and they've slowed down across the country as well. We're seeing high inventory rates across the country, and especially down here in the Coastal Bend area.
According to the Texas Association of Realtors, home prices in the area have remained fairly steady, but high interest rates and a large supply of homes are creating challenges for both buyers and sellers.
There are too many options for a buyer, and I hear that from them directly.
McGill says a few years ago, inventory levels were much lower, with only 1 to 2 months of homes available. Now, that number has climbed to about 6 months of inventory, leaving some buyers feeling overwhelmed and even taking a break from the search.
There are many options, and it can cause a little bit of fatigue, buyer fatigue.
So what can residents do? McGill recommends that sellers work closely with a trusted lender and real estate agent to help meet their goals. And for buyers, his advice is simple. Move quickly if you find the right home.
You've got to truly act quick whenever you see their home at the right price and the right location and everything that fits the boxes.
Realtors I spoke with say while the market has cooled, they expect things to pick up as interest rates drop and demand returns. On the Northwest Side, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Tyrese Spoon, Chris 6 News.
Thank you so much for that, Tyrese. Appreciate you, sir. And if you want to learn more on his story, you can always head on over to our website, christv.com. Don't go anywhere, folks. We have so much neighborhood news to get to this morning.
Yeah, from a Southside family picking up the pieces after a fire destroyed their home to the need for food assistance increasing around the coastal bend. We have you covered in your neighborhood check-in.
I'm Tony Jaramillo, your neighborhood news reporter on the South Side. We were here Wednesday night when a fire broke out in this townhome. Now I speak with the owners who tell me what happened and show me what they've lost.
I'm just blessed to be here. I lost everything, but I'm just grateful to be alive.
The fire damaged at least 3 units in the townhome on Rodfield and Fremont Drive. CCFD doesn't know what started it, but the damage it did to Deborah Garcia and her fiance's home left them with very little. Deborah walked me through the soot-filled townhome.
I have my granddaughter's markers. They look so weird. I'm like, what is that? They're all different colored markers.
As most of it is reduced to rubble, the remains now are just a memory. Deborah's daughter posted this GoFundMe so the couple can get back on their feet. If you want to help this family, we've linked their GoFundMe on our website on the South Side. I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Tony Jaramillo, Chris 6 News.
With SNAP benefits in danger due to the government shutdown, local organizers say the call for help has gone up as families work to stretch every dollar. Robert Ramirez and his wife Cecilia were in line hoping to get extra food to supplement their grocery list. The couple is on a fixed income. They get about $250 a month in food stamps, but lately they say it doesn't go as far as it used to. Real Inc. officials tell me on Friday they provided meals to about 300 families. That's a 70% increase from last week. For more information on food distribution events across the coastal bend, visit our website at christv.com.
Well, good Monday morning there, Coastal Bend, taking a live look out at Snoopy's Pier. Thanks to Matthews CCAC. Sitting at 59 degrees, those winds not too bad either. 51 here in downtown Corpus Christi, and getting a good look at the sunrise out there. Nice and smooth, I should say. A good transition there as we're going into daytime now. Looking at the past 10 hours, a nice cool down as well since last night in those lower 60s by 9 p.m. throughout the 50s in the overnight hours, dropping out, bottoming out about that 50-degree mark by 4 a.m. or so, and looks like we're on the warm up now with the sun coming up, but those current temperatures in your neighborhood still sitting about 45 degrees in San Diego this morning, 62 over there in Port Aransas, so 17 degrees of spread across the coastal bend, and rounding out in the 40s and 50s this morning, definitely feeling like fall as we're starting off the first work week of November. As we're looking at those winds out there, pretty light and variable right now for most of us, from about 3 to 5 and even 8 miles an hour over there in Freer. From out of mostly the east, going to see them turn more out of the southeast as we go through the afternoon hours, bringing in just a little bit more moisture, and that's going to continue as we go through the week ahead. Looking at your dog walking forecast today, we've got Buddy here. He's still in the Halloween spirit, of course, after his Halloween weekend. Wants to show off his costume a little bit, looking like a good pirate there, and ready to go on his walk today too. And those temperatures not looking too bad, 69 degrees by the time we're going into 9 a.m., 75 there by 11 a.m., 78 as we're heading towards that lunchtime hour, with winds nice and variable, I should say, out of the southeast, about that 5 to 10 mile an hour mark. Feels like temperatures into the afternoon not going to be too bad either, topping out around that 80-degree mark by about 2 to 4 p.m. I should say, and then starts that nightly cool down as we go into the overnight hours back into the 50s, and then the Doppler radar nice and clear, and that's going to continue throughout most of our Monday. So nice fall weather that we're feeling across the coastal bend and going to continue to feel for these next couple of days, but then it's going to see if summer can make just a slight return as we go into the back half of the work week. For now, just dealing with those dry conditions today, plenty of sunshine, going to be nice and sunny out there, and that's going to continue these next next couple of days. You can see on our upper level pattern dealing with that high pressure over the Lone Star State, over the United States, pretty much zonal flow, so no major weather makers are making their way in. Nothing to stir up some of that rain across the region. Just going to be holding on to that high pressure over the Lone Star State for the time being, and that's going to lead to that drier conditions across the area as well, and really across most of the central United States. So the coastal bend for us here, not going to expect too much rain going through the next 10 days, but as we come up on that 12-inch deficit of rainfall for 2025, we sure could use some in the 7-day forecast. Just for now, going to remain dry, but nice and fall-like for the first few days, I should say. By the end of the work week, the 90s try to make their return just for a day before we're back in the 80s by the weekend, with overnight lows going from those upper 50s to the upper 60s by the weekend.
From $4 a person meal deals to turkeys for under $1 a pound. Even free turkeys, stores are rolling out all sorts of Thanksgiving meal deals this year.
Pam Stewart is one of many shoppers stocking up on Thanksgiving fixings as she finds the deals.
You've got to watch your pennies.
To help customers save, Walmart rolled out its Thanksgiving meal deal that includes Butterball frozen turkeys for only 97 cents a pound.
Our pricing has gone down on our Thanksgiving meal package from last year.
Walmart's Jana Hill showed me this table full of fixings designed to feed 10 people for under $40. That's less than $4 per person. You get turkey, stovetop stuffing, pie ingredients, potatoes, and more.
You need cream of mushroom soup for your casseroles.
Yes, you do. Discount chain Aldi claims its Thanksgiving bundle with a 14-pound turkey and 9 sides also feeds 10 for $40. Krista McGrath with the Crazy Coupon Lady says these deals are worth looking at, but remember, they don't account for extra desserts or grandma's special recipes.
If you want to go off script a bit, you're going to be adding to your costs because those bundles really are designed around specific ingredients.
Other options, Costco's Gourmet Feast, serving 8 for $25 a head. BJ's promotes free turkeys with a $150 purchase in a single visit. With many regional supermarkets offering free turkeys as incentive, McGrath warns against overspending just to claim a deal.
If you're spending extra to get that free turkey, which again you can get for under $1 a pound, it's not going to be worth it to you.
Shopper Shayna Kamen says these meal specials are what some families need.
Really good for people that really need it, feeding a big family.
That way you don't waste your money. John Matteries, Scripps News Group.
Now, 6 things to know before you go.
Today marks day 34 of the government shutdown, with all eyes on the Senate to see if Republicans and Democrats can finally make a deal. One more day, and this shutdown will officially be the longest in history. The current record holder was a 35-day stint in President Trump's first term in 2018. The funding for federal SNAP benefits officially ran dry over the weekend, leaving 42 million low-income Americans wondering how they will afford their next meal. This despite there being a contingency fund for this exact reason. The Department of Agriculture under the Trump administration had planned to withhold $8 billion from the food program starting Saturday. However, 2 federal judges ordered the payment to move forward. Trump said he would provide the money, but wanted more legal direction from the court.
The Supreme Court will hear oral arguments this week on whether President Donald Trump's tariff policy is legal. The case will consider whether the president had the legal authority to impose tariffs by using a law known as the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. That law gives the president the ability to set tariffs in a national emergency. The president used that authority to impose tariffs as high as 50% on India and Brazil earlier this year. American businesses have paid nearly $90 billion to cover the tariffs being challenged. The president has said if the high court rules against him, the U.S. government would have to reimburse companies for the billions of dollars they have already paid.
A federal judge has extended her order to block President Trump from sending National Guard troops to Portland, Oregon, at least until Friday. The judge's decision came after a 3-day trial. The state of Oregon and the city of Portland sued to stop the troop deployment. They argue the Trump administration violated the law by federalizing members of the Oregon and California National Guard and sending them to Portland.
The Trump administration says the troops are needed to protect government buildings and ICE agents carrying out immigration enforcement.
Nearly 55,000 Crate and Barrel dining chairs have been recalled because the legs could break, posing a fall hazard. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says the Anna dining chairs were sold at Crate and Barrel stores and online between January 2021 and January of this year. You should stop using the chairs immediately and contact the retailer for a replacement. This recall does not apply to models sold after January 23rd of this year.
Milwaukee Tool is recalling nearly 100,000 of its chainsaws. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says that the brake on the chainsaw may not activate, posing a risk of cutting someone. The 14 and 12-inch M18 fuel top handle chainsaws were sold at Home Depot and other home improvement stores, as well as websites from across the U.S. from March 2023 through September of 2024. Nearly 91,000 of the recalled chainsaws were sold in the U.S., and another 7,500 were sold in Canada.
The city of Corpus Christi will have a couple of construction projects starting this morning. First at 8 a.m., a contractor will install underground fiber on Leopard Street in front of City Hall, and this will cause North Staple Street to be reduced to one lane. Then beginning at 9 a.m., similar work will begin on South Staple Street near McArdle Road, and during the projects, construction crews will be active in both areas. Drivers are encouraged to use alternate routes.
All right, folks, on to what's trending. Chick-fil-A has a new beverage-centered restaurant named Day-Brite. That is now open in Georgia. The new chain features handcrafted coffees, iced teas, lemonade, smoothies, cold-pressed juices, and some food like that donuts and breakfast sandwiches. Looks good, but no Chick-fil-A menu items. Day-Brite says that it brings together everything customers love about their favorite neighborhood coffee shop, breakfast spot, or juice bar, or even smoothie stop. And in case you're wondering, yes, Day-Brite will be closed on Sundays too, just like Chick-fil-A. No word on if it's going to come here to Corpus Christi, though. It's only in Georgia.
Ah, it looks good, though.
Yeah, it looks pretty tasty. I know Taco Bell tried something similar. I'm not sure if they are still open, though. I can't remember the name of that place either. But yeah, specifically drink catered.
I remember, the McDonald's did the Cosmics concept, too. So, I don't know. I never got to try it. Did y'all ever get to try the Cosmics? No. See, that seemed interesting, too. Hopefully, I don't know, we're able to try this a little bit, but we'll see if they make their way even into Texas, Yeah,
that's true. Don't plan on going up to Georgia just for a Day-Brite.
Yeah, we'll see. But at least we're feeling a little bit better this morning. I mean, it's really not too bad, not too chilly. I mean, maybe just a little bit chilly, still coat-worthy.
And the studio is nice and pleasant.
Yeah.
Although, what, 51 out right now?
Yeah, 51. So, I'd say coat-worthy.
It's cold.
It's still manageable compared to the 40s or even the 30s that we saw last week. That was a little bit cold for October, I'd say. But as we're heading into November, not too bad as we're looking out there. Here's a live look at our USS Lexington cam brought to us by First Community Bank. Starting to see those earlier sunrises now as well, I should say, thanks to the fall back that we saw this past weekend. 50 degrees out there is the cool spot right now as we're looking at the Harbor Bridge. And looking at yesterday, we were below average as well for that morning low, coming in at 54 degrees. We're supposed to be around that 60 to 80 mark. Yesterday, that was that 54 to 76 is where we were. So nice and below average. Unfortunately, in terms of rainfall, still have a lot of work to do on the rainfall front in terms of a rainfall deficit. But with that hour change, we were now seeing sunset at 5:44 p.m. So nice and early out there. As we're looking at those temperatures in your neighborhood, still a couple chilly spots at 45 degrees in San Diego, 48 there in George West, 50 for both Beeville as well as Mathis this morning and here in Corpus Christi. Over in Port Aransas coming in at that 62 degree mark, so 17 degrees was spread from inland to coast across the coastal bend this morning. And as we're looking at that dog walking forecast, of course, we've got Buddy today, who's still in the Halloween spirit from the weekend, showing off his pirate costume there. Ready to go on his dog walk today, though, and those temperatures not looking too bad. By 9 a.m., 69 degrees, 75 there at 11 a.m. By noon, about those upper 70s, even the 80s as we're going into the early afternoon hours. With those winds, not too bad either, turning a little bit more out of the southeast as we're heading towards that lunchtime hour. With the feels like temperatures into the afternoon, that peak heating going to be about 80 to 81 degrees here in Corpus Christi. Going to be feeling like 79 to 80 degrees by about that 2 to 4 p.m. hour. Then, of course, we start that nightly cool down back down through the 60s, even into the 50s as we're heading through the overnight hours. So not too bad. Pretty fall-like, I would say, here in Corpus Christi. Looking at the Doppler radar, nice and clear right now, and that's going to continue throughout most of our Monday as we're looking at the future tracker. Maybe a couple stray showers trying to push in, but I think their chances are very low if we do see anything on the radar today. So mostly sunny skies on the board as we're going through our Monday, and throughout the next couple of days, the upper level pattern going to show us that high pressure sitting over the Lone Star State, and going to continue to see these temperatures slowly rise throughout that 7-day forecast. You can see them going from the 80s upwards of that 90-degree mark by the time we're heading into Friday. In the weekend, not looking too bad either, in the 80s with overnight lows in the 60s. So I'd say feeling pretty good out and about, you guys.
Yeah, I like it. So always bring maybe a light jacket earlier in the day, some layers so that you can shed. Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because I always bring my jacket. I'll wear it, but I know it's only because she's going to get cold. So
Gentleman
throw it on
right
her.
there.
Well, hey, thanks for spending part of your Monday morning with us. We hope you have a great rest of your day and an even better week ahead.
Bye.
See you soon.